back from my trip in Osaka and wanted to make a quick video talking about how the trip went and how our overall approach to travel plays into how well it went. If you're new here, I'm Anisha. I'm autistic with a side of ADHD, and I am currently experimenting, but right now I'm talking more about the life side of being neurodivergent and specifically traveling to Osaka. We spent 6 days in Osaka, well, 6 days in Japan. We arrived in Osaka and then eventually went visited different cities. Before the trip, approach to planning. When I say we, I mean me and my husband. And he is not diagnosed, but I'm just calling him neurodivergent too. But how we approach travel planning before we go anywhere, we watch a ton of videos about it. We learn as much as we can. So watching YouTubers who vlog their daily walking around. Those are really helpful. Reading online, like blog posts, Reddit posts, basically any information we can find that can paint a picture of what it will be like when we get there. So it's almost like we've been there without having been there. And I know some people don't like this. Because I've read a lot, and I know there's some people who miss travel before the internet when you didn't really know what it was going to be like when you got there. Yeah, that's not how I like to travel. I need just so I can actually enjoy my time when I'm there. I want to get as good a picture as I can of what it will be like. And then, of course, the usual stuff, how to pay for things, how to for your phone. If you want to have data, how can you get data on your phone? Like this, the typical travel logistics, of course, too, is part of this research. How to get around, transportation options. That's included in this whole trying to paint a broad overall picture. Okay, so for Japan specifically, I've been wanting to go for, it feels like forever, but really it's probably only been the last 5-ish years or so, been wanting to go. So that means I've had time to look up things about it and absorb what to expect when we get there. So on this particular trip, I got the ticket in July because I came across a great deal. The timing was right and the pricing was right. So we bought the tickets, and that meant from July to November, we had time to prep. And I have been kind of trying to casually learn Japanese off and on. So what I did was make a plan that for the 4 weeks before we left, I would just try to focus on input, just getting input in for Japanese. Because remember, I was doing WGU, and so I really couldn't take on another learning project at the same time. So once I finished, then I shifted gears and decided my goal for the trip was just to say basic polite things like good morning, thank you. That's what I usually try to do when traveling somewhere new. I try to learn the polite words to get around. And so part of our travel planning is the language. So anyway, travel planning, painting the picture before we go, also looking into the language. Also before we go, the plan on the ground, what are we gonna do when we get there? So what we have learned to do is basically to forget anyone's itinerary, 5 days in Japan, this is what we did. We don't do any of those. Don't watch any, well, we watch it to paint the picture. We don't watch it to copy their plan. Because what we've learned is for us, we almost need to arrive there and pretend we didn't look up anything and don't come with any plans already. Because what generally happens is we get there and then realize we want to do something totally different than we planned. So our approach to the day-to-day of our trip is do all the research, write down things we want to do, pin places on a Google map list, and especially if there's anything where maybe you need to book a day, book ahead of time, make note of that, write it down. But nothing's firm. Wait till we get there and then see how we feel. Because sometimes we'll get somewhere and realize we don't want to really do anything. We just need to rest for a few days. And that's why I like traveling places longer, because you have more time to incorporate rest. So when went to Southeast Asia for 6 months, that was great because we had plenty of time to just rest without feeling like we were missing out on doing things. But with this trip, it wasn't super short. It was more than a few days. So 6 days, that meant we had enough time to the first day or two, we took it easy. So, like, the first day or 2 is rest. We really aren't trying to get anything done except maybe walk around the area we're in. And then after that, we can in my head, I can start slotting activities onto those days, but, like, max of 1, like, expectation, just 1. But for this trip, what's nice is we followed that same pattern, like, the first day was rest, really just focusing on getting something to eat. The second day was also rest, like, slept in, did not try to wake up early and capture all the time we were there. So slept in, easy morning, then headed out to try to figure out the subway and the metro, figure out transportation because we had through our research learned that it's typically confusing for people. And then by day 3, we're feeling like we wanted to go and do things, like almost like regular people who travel do things, like multiple things in one day. And so we actually ended up visiting other cities. So I went into this thinking we'd probably just stay in Osaka. Like it would be cool to visit other places, but if we didn't, that's fine. But we actually did. So we went from Osaka and then traveled to Kyoto, and that was like an hour or over an hour, like train ride. And then went to Kobe, which that was also about an hour. And if I'm forgetting the times on these, like, so the other thing that helps with our travel planning is we divide the responsibilities, and this sort of naturally happened, like, we didn't sit down and say, like, for my husband, "You're the one who's going to look up all the logistics, and then I'm gonna be the one who strategizes on how this will actually even happen." That just sort of happened naturally because I guess we just played to our strengths naturally. So that's another thing that helps too. So I typically am the one who will think, "Okay, we wanna go to this place. How, like, financially, time-wise, like, scheduling, like, how we're gonna make that happen." So I usually do that, and then once I have made it happen, like, I bought the tickets, booked the place, then it's all like I pass it off to my husband where he is the one who will watch all the videos. I will do that too, but he's a lot better about it and he's more thorough. So he'll watch all the videos and find all the cool places that we could go that we might like, or places not to go to because we might not like it because it's, too much. But he'll do that. And then by the time we're on the ground, he usually has this rough plan. And then I might suggest things, but he's usually the one who gets us around. So that's why I might not remember exactly how long it took for us to get from place to place. 'Cause the yeah, I don't remember. I didn't look it all up. So we went to Kyoto, Kobe, Nara. I feel like there was one more place we went to, maybe not. But yeah, so we visited those different places. We went to Osaka Castle, did the touristy stuff. Not all the touristy stuff, but like quite a few. And yeah, we did more than one thing each day throughout the rest of the trip, which was pretty good. Not like if I'd planned that, I think we would have stressed out more and then not been able to do it. But because we rested at the start of the trip, like every day after, we woke up earlier naturally. We got more sleep still, but we woke up earlier, we're ready to go and do things. And I mean, obviously there's always times when you get frustrated. Yeah, figuring out the transportation once you're outside of one city is a little tricky. But everyone was really nice and helpful. Like in the train station, I'm not even sure what their job title was, but there was usually someone standing there by where you go in to pay to enter, and so I think because they know that certain spots when you're switching between the types of trains or the types of transportation, that can get confusing, so there's usually someone there, and you can ask them, "Hey, how do I get to this place?" Or, "Here's my ticket, which platform am I supposed to go to?" So that was really helpful. So getting around, it was, while frustrating sometimes, it wasn't, like, too much because there was always some help available. So yeah, so that is how we approached this trip and specifically, which is I would say like the culmination of like years of figuring out how to travel in a way that supports the outcome we want, which is like an actual vacation or a good trip that we enjoy. So now we're back. Well, that's another thing. So after the trip, I try not to plan too much. So it's almost like I start the trip with rest, and then after the trip, I try to plan in rest too, because we're not usually jet lagged, and I need to find where I read this. I read that neurodivergent people might not have jet lag, And my own personal theory for this is just because, like, I already have sleep issues, like, hard time going to sleep anyway. I feel like when I travel, then maybe, like, there's a canceling effect, like, when you have ADHD and caffeine, and caffeine makes you sleepy. I'm wondering if jet lag just makes me actually regulates my sleep, because over there, I had no problem going to sleep and then waking up at what I would call, like, a normal time. And now that I'm back, it seems to be holding so far, like, I can go to sleep and feel sleepy and then wake up feeling refreshed. But anyway, so back to my point. So after a trip, I try to plan for just the post routine disruption fatigue, I call it. So I need more rest, or just it's not even sleep, it's just needing to slow things down to let all that processing happen. Because if I just expected myself to keep going like at the same pace as I did before the trip, then that would just mean more frustration, more stress. So after the trip, like we got back and I think we ate or something, but then we just went to sleep and then took a really, really long nap. I try to take it slowly. And what I found is that when I just plan to take things slow, I actually don't need as much time to recover as I think I will. So I just keep this focused on traveling as neurodivergent person or someone with like more limited energy, or just honoring how you work. If you don't like doing a lot of stuff when you're traveling, you don't have to do a lot of stuff. If you do like to do a lot of stuff, then do a lot of stuff. Like that shit. The other thing I keep forgetting to talk about is the sensory while we're there. So I don't know how much you've watched about people who travel to Japan, but they say it's quieter there on the streets. That is true. Like I noticed while I was there, I was actually just walking around, enjoying looking at things. And normally I think I'm just focusing on like getting from place to place and walking, because there's usually a lot of noise, a lot of people to manage going around. And I spend a lot of energy just trying to be out and about. But since I wasn't spending it on all that sensory stimulation, I could just spend it on enjoying being there. So that was nice. Even in the store, even though there was a lot of people, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I'm actually just realizing this too, thinking about being in the stores, 'cause they have some pretty big stores, but it wasn't overwhelming. Because thinking of the opposite experience, there was a mall I went to in Malaysia where I got was it Malaysia? I think it was Malaysia. Could have been Thailand, but what I got super overwhelmed. It was so bad. I wrote about it in my journal. And I think it's the first time I thought I was about to start crying in like a public mall. It was too much. So that like Japan was the opposite of that. That was just really nice and just a good, almost like a confirmation of no, this is not in my head. My environment plays a big role in how much I can enjoy being there or not. That's it. So that was our Osaka trip. Hopefully this loosely organized bring up of how it went and how I approach travel planning and help somebody. I'm gonna keep making videos like this. If there's other specific topics you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. And please subscribe if you've watched this far. Thank you so much sticking around for me as I shift the direction of this channel.